So what I want to know is, I want to know, because it helps me to be able to tailor my, what I'm going to share with you, so that it supports you. So I want to know, I know Gail already, I know her situation. Yeah. So thank you, Gail. But I don't know everybody else. And I would like to know, what do you want to heal? What are you wanting to heal and transform in your life, so that I can then give you hopefully some suggestions and some um, ways for you to take where you are to a different level, right? Because that's really that's what we want to do, is we want to keep advancing what we're doing. So if I can hear from you, then I'm just going to take a few notes, and then I can tailor what I say to you. Yeah. So
This
who
is
would like
Helen.
to go?
I was gonna say I'll go.
Helen, good.
Hi, Ximena. Nice to meet you. I love your name.
Thank you.
I would say Ximena, but yeah. So, my goodness. So I've been on a cleanse since February 23rd to heal me from candida, heavy metals, parasites. I was just getting like really. I had a lot of autoimmune health issues, and then and just before that, I had a concussion. So, and I'm simultaneously working on emotional healing, mother wound and father wound work. So I'm kind of hitting it all right now. Everything. How's that? And overall, I'm a very happy person. I have a job I love. So I'm in like a weird position, if that makes sense. Like most people, I think they wouldn't be doing all this healing work and be like, oh, my life's pretty good. But it is. It's just, I want to have energy. I have so much I'm supposed to be accomplishing. My belief is that I am here as a pillar of light or a light bearer to help with the transition and ascension of what's happening. And I can only do that and do it at my very best level if I feel phenomenal. I also have 2 children that have autoimmune stuff and that I, deal with. So it's trying to balance it all and get my energy back and to feel what I call radiantly healthy and great like I used to.
Okay. Helen's a doctor, Master Ximena. So.
Yeah, I recall that from your email. So, what is happening on Mother Earth is that the energies are getting very high, frequency vibration is getting very, very high. And so we are all experiencing purification. You talk about it as a cleanse. We talk about it as purification.
I think that's a better word. Thank you.
Yeah. But that means that you can be experiencing, as you said, what appears to be a dichotomy. I have a great job, but I have autoimmune disease. I don't have energy. I have had a concussion, but I don't have the kind of vibrant energy. And it's all happening at the same time. So, and we're going to see more and more of that. So the practices that Dr. and Master Shah teaches, which I've been practicing for almost 20 years now, are practices that give you energy. It's not, the best way to describe it, it's not like having a candy bar. You don't get this kind of energy and then come down. It's a slow build. And for some people, they may feel a lot of energy all of a sudden, but if you don't use that energy well, which is for your healing, we end up using the energy to clean the garage, do all the things that we thought we needed to do. But many of you here, I suspect, have chronic conditions. I have chronic conditions. I have 3 chronic conditions. But I do really well, though. I do really well. I don't have the challenges of a family at this time. So, but I have a very busy life. My days start at 6:30 and they go really, really, really late. And it's nonstop text messages and phones and emails. So, and I hold up pretty well. I'm in my 60s, so it's not like I'm 25 and I have vibrant energy. No, and I have 3 very challenging conditions, but because of these practices, I do not take any medication. In fact, Western medicine could not offer me a solution. There was no cure. There was medication, but no cure. And I opted not to do that, actually. So good. So thank you, Helen. Who else would like to tell me briefly what would you like to transform in your life? Mhm.
Andy, Sandra. And I was on your call a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I have a lot of numbness going on in my
yeah,
hand, my fingers, my forearms, my legs, primarily from the knees down through my toes and feet. And sometimes they cramp, um, and they're stiff, although it's not a joint kind of stiffness.
mhm,
It's a
mhm,
stiffness from the swelling. It feels like it's swollen inside. So
yep,
that's what I really want to heal. Helen does work on me, and and Lydia's doing healing for me too now. Um,
yeah.
so
And what we're doing can complement what you're doing. And oftentimes, it can take what you're doing to a completely different level. Most people will see an acceleration in their transformation. Yeah. So wonderful. Thank you, Sandra. Anyone else want to comment?
This is Connie.
Hi. Whoops.
Was that me? I'm hearing an echo.
No, I
Okay.
should go on gallery view because I can't see everyone.
Oh,
Okay, so
There
Josie,
we
how,
go.
okay.
Josie,
Go
how about
ahead.
if I just name you, go ahead and then,
Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think it's it's my joints, knee and hip joints that I want to there's just seems to be a lot of stuff built up in there. And I know I'm going through purification. I'm in the Tao Soul Communicator program. And I'm also, working on opening my spiritual channels further. And so I think a lot of stuff seems to be coming around my joints, my knees and hips. So I'd like to release stuff around that.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think the other lady was Connie, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Connie.
That's me.
Good.
Yeah, I'm also looking for chronic pain help, shoulders, neck, back, and also stomach issues. Basically, and then my dog. My dog could use help. He's got soft tissue cancer, and he's also got pain in his. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where, but his backside, his legs or his hips or something going on that he doesn't want to get up anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
But yep, that would be it.
Okay. Yeah, any one of these conditions, right? Any one of these conditions is painful.
Yes.
Any one of these immediately makes it difficult for us to first keep our heart open and be available to people in the way that we want to be available to them. And secondly, pain limits what you can do every day. It's wearing. I know I've had pain my whole life. I was explaining to someone, I've had pain my whole life. I didn't know until recently that what it's like not to wake up and not have pain. Not have pain from the moment you wake up in the morning till the moment you go to bed, and headaches, back, I just hurt. I just generally hurt. But I'm very grateful. Today is a good day. I don't have pain. I had a migraine over the weekend, but that's gone. So anyone else want to say anything before I share a little bit about my journey, and then give you a little bit of background about these practices and why these practices work? Anyone? Has everyone said what they wanted to say?
Jennifer and Melissa, do you want to speak?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now we can.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. I'm in my car. The Monday nights are crazy for me, but I'm trying to make it work because this has been amazing. So I primarily am just looking for maintaining to stay out of fight or flight because that's my comfort zone. I'm a mom. I'm 38. I have 2 young kids. I have a couple jobs. I'm also a teacher, and my husband and I are working really hard to save up enough money to finally purchase a house. So it's just like a lot of stress is coming from different places. But
Yeah.
I, like Helen, feel content and happy in my life, if that can even make sense. Like, I know there's things that I want to accomplish, but I also, I don't know, we're healthy for the most part. I being the one who, I have chronic issues. I'm sure I have some kind of undiscovered autoimmune. I have body aches and chronic lymphatic drainage issues and tonsil issues and such. But you know, I don't know. I count myself really lucky because it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. You know, there's the practices can support you. Even someone as busy as you are, I will teach you how you can do practice and
Okay.
have it support you. Yeah. Because, you know,
Sure.
carving out even 5 minutes in your schedule when you have kids may be challenging, you know, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Who
Thank
was the
you.
other person? Thank you. Who was the other person, Lydia, that you invited to speak?
Jennifer's
Oh,
here.
Jennifer.
If she wants to speak, you don't have to, but it's a good opportunity to get support.
I have high inflammation in my body. Like Helen, I dealt with candida and detoxing. I have like this mucus in my throat that's been like 2.5 years and it's not going away. I also have an ear issue. I have to have surgery for it. I don't know. I feel like my body aches a lot and I'm young and I work out a lot. So I don't really know. Trying to think what else.
Hmm. You know, I work with a client, she's in her 20s. She's probably not more than 25 or 26, I think. I've never really asked her age, but she's quite young. And she suffers from fibromyalgia and 2 other conditions. And, you know, these practices are helping her. By 5 or 6 o'clock at night, the pain levels would get very high for her. And she would literally, the only thing that would help would be going to bed, right? And then waking up in the mornings. For her, mornings were good. Mornings, she wakes up, no pain. Whereas someone like me, I wake up and that's usually when the pain can be quite intense, is in the morning. So by day, you know, I open my eyes and I check, you know, what are my pain levels before I do anything, yeah. But she's having really good, she's having very good results with the practices. And I spoke with her at length over the weekend and she said, you know, you all are lucky you have a group. Lydia's leading you in group practices. That's one of the most important things is coming together to support each other. Because one of the core teachings of Dr. And Master Shah that I learned from him in 2001 when I met him in October of 2001. I met him at the end of October. So I think I never wrote it down, but I think I met him October 25th. So 19 years ago, I met him, yeah. And he was working primarily with people who had stage 4 cancer. And I did not have cancer. I was very lucky I did not have cancer. I had Crohn's disease. I had leaky gut from undiagnosed, misdiagnosed food allergies. My whole life, what I had were food allergies, but no one checked for food allergies. When I was little, I was in my mid-40s when a naturopath said to me, "You have food allergies." I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "Yeah, you do. And here's how this is what we're going to do. You're going to go off of everything, and all you can eat is kanji, right, for 3 weeks." And sure enough, I went through this intense purification. I had no idea that when you're allergic to something, you literally detox, like you're detoxing from drugs or alcohol, right? So I went through that. And at the same time, I had started working with Master Sha and attending his groups. And his groups, we would come together. Sometimes there were 4 people, sometimes there were 100 people. Almost all of them, the majority of them had cancer, stage 4, which means doctors had said to them that there was nothing that the Western medicine could offer them, and that basically they had to put their affairs in order. And so through word of mouth, people found Master Sha, because he was not an author at the time, but he was working with people at the Presidio, which is a big army base in San Francisco that had spaces available for groups, and relatively inexpensively. And he was teaching them some techniques. Then some of those techniques you all probably already know about. And I've been using those 4 original techniques. I use them every day, many, 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 many times a day. He has added 2 more. And the addition of these 2 more and his own evolution as a teacher and as a healer. Did I lose you all? No, there you are. As a teacher and as a healer has been beyond description. And as a result, the combination, of the practices and then his power is creating miracles. So my most recent miracle is that in February 1, I attended, February 1st and 2nd of this year, I attended a wellness fair. 10,000, 20,000 people were there. Yeah. 2 weeks later, I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't sleeping well. I was agitated. There was a lot happening in my life, and I just kept saying, this is stress, this is stress, this is stress. I had all kinds of digestive issues. I was achy, that body pain came back from years ago. And at the end of February, I went back to San Francisco. I was on a flight, it was packed. I didn't feel well at all. My throat hurt. I haven't had that in many, many years, long times. I don't even know when was the last time. The next day, my sister came over. She had to pick up some stuff from my house. I gave it to her. I went to bed. I went to bed for like 3 days. And each day I felt worse and worse. Within 2 weeks, I could not breathe. To walk, San Francisco is a walking city, to walk 4 blocks to the grocery store, I would have to make 3 stops. I just could not breathe. I could not breathe. So this was the beginning of testing for COVID. And there were no protocols in the US. And my doctor kept saying to me, just go to the emergency, go to the emergency, go to the emergency. Finally, on March 16th, I went to the emergency room. I could barely, I was just sitting there like this in the waiting room. And I remember the nurse knelt down to try and, to talk to me. And she said, I can give you a note and you can stay home from work. And they did 3 tests. They tested for 3 different things, flu, COVID, and pneumonia. But they never listened to my lungs. Tests came back. I was negative for everything. because of Master Shah, because of the services that he was offering, I went from actually not being functional at all and feeling really that my energy, my life force was getting very low. I went from that to where I am today. My lungs have not completely healed. There's still congestion. So when something comes up, like there was smoke coming up from Washington State and Oregon about a month ago, it really affected me. But otherwise, I'm very healthy. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I had pain levels that were over 25. I have a condition called Tarlov cysts, where the sheath of the spinal cord is loose, and it means that spinal fluid accumulates and forms pockets that are basically cysts filled with spinal fluid on the nerve endings. For me, that was occurring primarily in my sacrum, but I also felt them in my upper back. Although they didn't do the MRI on the upper back, they did them on the sacrum. My hips kept popping out, and my sacrum kept popping out. In fact, I could not walk the way people walk. I could move my right leg, and I would drag my left leg behind me. I would need to hoist myself up to go upstairs and hoist myself down to go down the stairs because I could not really move my hips or my knees, right? Moving sidewalks, elevators, even an elevator was really painful. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit. Sitting was not possible until a year ago, I think. Lying down was good, and in the mornings, I would have to do practice for 3 hours in order to get out of bed. I researched the condition I had, and there's experimental, but there are no cures because there aren't enough people who have this condition for them to actually run trials. And really, how is it that they're going to be able to tighten your spinal, the skin of the spinal cord, right? So I opted not to pursue Western medical because the solutions were not really solutions. And using my spiritual channels, I knew that this was not an option for me, that I had to look at the alternative. And for me, the alternative is Master Shah. So I began doing I do them anyways, but I had to do them. I had to do them for 3 hours, which is what he recommends when you have a chronic condition. Because I couldn't get out of bed. I could not move. I could move my head to my left. There was no way I could move my head to the right. The swelling in my spinal cord was so strong. I could not get out of bed. So in order for me to get out of bed, I had to do practices, bring down the swelling. So through that process, I began to lower the pain levels, but they're still, 15, 20. And then I went to some retreats over a period of a year and a half. And I received 3 very special services from Master Shah. And then the rest was practice. So I have learned, and this is the third time, the lungs, the Tarlov cysts, and then my original condition, which was the Crohn's disease, the leaky gut, the ulcer, and I had psoriasis all over my body. My hair was falling out in chunks. My thyroid, they could not calibrate it. My adrenals were shot. I wasn't in good shape, This time it really stuck. This time I really learned the significance of practice. And I'm on a mission. I lead groups for people who have chronic and life-threatening conditions because I know from my experience 19 years ago, I watched what happened for people, that the transformation was so astonishing that oncologists started to call Master Shah and say, can you come and talk to us? And there would be nurses and doctors sitting around, small group of them, but there were doctors and nurses who were like, what are you doing? These people are recovering. They were not having the same kinds of issues with chemo, with radiation, and people were recovering. It was astonishing, right? So I am on a mission to help as many people as possible to really make a commitment and to facilitate for you the practices. The practices we do are very simple, but they're very powerful. He taught from the beginning, he taught what is called body power. So most of you probably know this, but body power is the use of hand and body positions for promoting healing. What you don't know is that you can use body power 24 hours a day. What is body power? How do you stand? I stand now all the time, feet flat on the ground, shoulder width apart. I slightly tuck my pelvis in, I soften my knees. I don't stand the way most Americans, I'm American, I wasn't born in the US, but I spent most of my life there. We stand, our legs are locked, our hips are locked, our back is slouched. Energy is not moving. It's locked. It's locked in different places. But if you just make that one adjustment, you'll feel the difference. I no longer sit back in my chair. I used to cross my legs. I sit, feet flat on the ground, shoulder width apart. I'm sitting straight. My back there's lots of space between me and the chair. Why? Because energy moves in space. When we stand feet shoulder width apart, soften our knees, tuck the pelvis in slightly, we are opening the major spaces in the body. I never learned this when I was young. And I took advanced biology, chemistry, physics, you name it, I took it. Because I was one of those very studious people in school, yeah? And so I took all the advanced, I was in all the advanced, AP, P, whatever. It never stayed with me. It never stayed with me because I knew in my heart that it wasn't truth, that there was something else that explained how the body worked. I just didn't know what it was. When I met Master Sha and he explained body power, and he explained the need to open the spaces in the body, and to promote the flow of energy, I knew he was speaking truth. And reluctantly, for 4 months rather, I would go to his events and I'd sit there like this and I'd be like, if he's such a hot shot, healer, why isn't he willing to heal me? Blah, 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 blah. Eventually, when I saw all the people with cancer coming back, they would bring their reports, they would bring their reports in and they'd go, look, they'd show us, my such and such marker, this, and their lives, they didn't all survive, but their lives changed. And now you will never forget that time. Stay with me. So I have practiced, I've used his practices, but not the way that I'm using them now, and not the way I'm sharing with you, because I only used them if I needed them. If I needed them was, I'm in a crisis. But what I've learned now is that we're in a crisis, period. When you are bombarded constantly by negativity, by the news, by your neighbors, I'm living in Vancouver. I have it's a very lovely small space, but the insulation here is very thin. I know if my neighbor is chopping, whether they're chopping up carrots or whether they're chopping up something else. It's how transparent the walls are. Yeah, I know when my other neighbor on the other side, they're opening the closet. I know more about them than they know that I know. They can hear me chanting, and sometimes they chant along, But it's okay. I'm not creating any pain for anybody, right? So how you stand, how you sit makes a difference. I sit feet shoulder width apart, feet flat on the ground. My spine stretches slightly, and I'm receiving nourishment from heaven, nourishment from Mother Earth. You don't have to believe this. You just have to try it. and see what happens for you when you do this for 3 weeks. I used to do this. I've done this with thousands of people. I did this years ago when I was in working in San Francisco, and then I was assigned to Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, I used to call it the 21-day challenge. Because if you do some of these things for 21 days, you will notice a difference. I don't have to say any more. Second thing, mind power. So body power, you sit so that you're only halfway back in the chair, and you don't sit on the couch, because when you sit on the couch, your body goes into, you lose the posture that you need. You lose that firm connection to the ground, and you lose that firm connection to your sits bones. I'm sitting, I'm someone who has a spinal cord issue. I have no pain right now because it's actually a position that doesn't produce pain. But if you have any pain, adjust it. Do not create more pain. Pain tells you that there's too much energy. Energy is stuck in the body. So we have to find a way to open the spaces so that the energy can move. There are major circles in the body. Second, mind power. Americans have amazing mind power. It's the mind is going. We've got television. We don't have enough channels because we have 320 channels, you know, and we still want more. So we sign up for another one. But what for? Can you even watch one? I haven't had a TV in, I don't know how, maybe 20 years, maybe since I met Master Shah. I think I gave up the TV, or a few years after that. My TV was so old, it was one of those ones that had the great big tube in the back that, you know, when we went to recycle it, they were like, I don't think we take that anymore. It was a paperweight on the floor. So instead, the power that's here, we can use for our healing. Choose one thing. Choose one thing that you want to transform. You know, all of you gave me multiple issues. I have multiple issues, but I focus on one. Heal one, you heal all. Because the body is not a bento box. The body is interconnected. If we open the pathway and clear the blockages in one part of the body, we are clearing the blockages everywhere. Because we had blockages in one part of the body, we created blockages in the others. It's basic physics, you know, you know this. You know, if there's a car crash on the highway, what happens? Everything backs up, and sometimes there's little mini car crashes that happen because people aren't paying attention. A little fender bender. It's the same thing in our bodies. It's energy, right? Energy and matter. So how you sit, where do you put your mind? Mind power is creative visualization. We use light. We use the power of light. Put your mind in your first chakra. Visualize light. When your mind is busy, the kids want something, you know, you're racing to do something else, the stress is building, you put your mind in your first soul house. You close your eyes, you connect to Mother Earth through your feet, you connect to heaven through the crown chakra, you put your mind in your first soul house. Visualize golden light. It doesn't matter if it's a big golden light, if it's a little golden light. It doesn't matter if it's rotating, not rotating. The only thing that matters is that you're seeing golden light. Golden light is the first frequency of healing. Golden light shines, sickness disappears. Ancient teaching. They did not have allopathic medicine 5,000 years ago. They didn't even have acupuncture, right? But they had their hands. They had their bodies. They had mind. They used these abilities, these great healers from the past, Use these abilities. We have a teacher in Master Sha who's willing to share. Do this. I've shared with you. I don't have Crohn's. I don't have leaky gut anymore. The pain from the Tarloff cysts, it's astonishing. I can walk up and down the stairs holding groceries or a cup of tea. I don't have to, I don't have to bump up against the wall or the banister trying, before I would stand there and I'd go, okay, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to go down those stairs? Because I would tip sideways, I would tip forward, I would tip backwards. You have no idea how many times I would manage to grab the banister, because if I fell backwards, oh my gosh. I only fell once actually in the 3 years I've been healing this. Fortunately, it was carpeted, yeah. So these abilities are simple techniques, but if you use them for healing, they can bring you great transformation. This technique of how you sit and then putting your mind in your lower abdomen will ground you. In America, for some reason, we're just pulling our energy constantly up. Why? We have so many issues in the upper part of the body: heart disease, lung disease, thyroid, ears, throat, nose. I was at the doctor's all the time. I took so many antibiotics, and it turns out I didn't need to take anything. But I was taking super antibiotics. I don't remember, it's $120 for a pill. It made me so sick. I said, I can't do this. I don't know what am I going to do now? And I sat on the couch for over a year until I met Master Sha. Use these techniques. Ground yourself. If all you learned from me today is how to ground yourself, you will change your day. Because you bring the focus inside you. Leave the outside of you. And begin to come into a state of oneness rather than a state of scatteredness. And in this way, you can find peace. Fight or flight, no peace in the heart. The heart is on edge all the time. The body's on adrenaline all the time. Peace. Ground yourself. Big breaths don't necessarily help if the mind is going, but instead we're using innate abilities. So I just adjusted myself because I suddenly felt pain. I said, oh, pain is energy, needs to move. Okay, so I adjusted myself. You do the same. No pain, just a simple adjustment, no pain. My mind is in my lower abdomen. I can feel the energy rising, yeah? So the third power is sound power. Sound power is a mantra, a sacred sound given to a high-level spiritual being that carries high frequency and vibration. So many times we chant greatest love because the answer, every tradition, ultimately they all say, what is it that will heal? Love. Love is what will heal your heart, your liver, your lungs, your kidney, your kidneys, your knees, your joints. Love. Love is what is needed to transform. Love is a message. Love is a frequency. Love is a vibration. You need all of them. You need that message. You need that message. You need the vibration. So let's practice, right? So you sit or you stand, feet shoulder width apart, back. You're sitting. I'm sitting. I make sure that my weight is on my sits bones. I'm not pulling up like I'm about to be ejected from my seat. You know, like they used to do in the, like they eject you out of they eject the astronauts, the the pilots in the fighter planes. That's not what we need to sit, relax. Bring your mind to your lower abdomen. Put your hands in front, one hand in front of the other hand, and put them in front of your lower abdomen. Away from the body. This will naturally create a field, gathering energy into your lower abdomen. And then you're going to breathe all the way down, very gentle. Very gently breathe into your lower abdomen. Do not force it. However far it goes, your breath goes, great. Don't force anything. But in general, when our hands are in front of our lower abdomen, the breath gets deeper. You may find yourself exhaling, like, wow, letting go. Great. If you can already do this, now visualize the breath coming in as golden light, straight down the middle of the body to the first chakra. And we're just going to chant greatest love. Greatest love, 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 greatest love. You chant with me and learn to give greatest love to yourself. Just say the words. Over time, it becomes second nature. It's a challenge for us, right? It's a challenge for us to love ourselves. But what I love about Master Sha is he's teaching us how to love ourselves one organ at a time. And it's amazing, it works. I think about my lungs, I smile. I think about my large intestine, I smile. Why? I chanted, I love my large intestine, love my large intestine, love my lungs, love my lungs, love my lungs. We didn't have the practices we have now. That's all we had. And it worked. It worked. The doctors were astonished. They didn't know what happened to the Crohn's disease. They didn't know. They couldn't explain what happened to the leaky gut or to the ulcer. They were afraid that I was going to sue them because, you know, they had done the original test and everything suggested I had these conditions. And by the time they put the little endoscopy and the colonoscopy, everything was clean. I love my large intestine. I love my large intestine. I love my large intestine. Now we chant greatest love. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies your heart and soul. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies your heart and soul. I put it into the chat for you so you have it, yeah? Greatest love. And now what I want you to do is I want you to put one hand over your lower abdomen and put the other hand over that part of the body that needs transformation. Yeah, so let's see. Sandra, you have numbness in your legs, your hand. Yeah, just pick where do you want to put your hand? Yeah, Josie, also your knees, hips, choose. Hip or knee, just choose one. It doesn't matter, yeah. Chronic pain, shoulder, neck, choose one, just put one place. Doesn't matter where it is. Melissa, fight or flight, yeah. Message center, heart chakra. Jennifer, I would say message center, yeah. Because when you have systemic issues like Candida, you need to connect with the spiritual, the heart chakra is the spiritual center. The spiritual center is your healing center. Just put your hand over your spiritual center.
Are you talking about one hand on the heart or one hand? Where's the spiritual center?
Spiritual center here. See if I can show you. Yeah. Can you see my hand? It's right in the middle of the chest.
Okay,
Can
thanks.
you see my hand on the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's right over the middle of the chest. Yeah. So this is your heart chakra. It's right in the middle of the chest, right about here. Yeah. And then the other hand, you go ahead. So that's for the people who have, like, if you have a systemic issue like Candida, you want to do that. The other hand, put over your lower abdomen, and we're still going to chant greatest love. Greatest love, 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 unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies your heart and soul. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies your heart and soul. And visualize big golden light in your heart chakra, big golden light in your first soul house. Can you feel the heat? Anyone? Can you feel the heat? Let me see if I can see it again. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, can you feel the heat? Anyone? Not yet? Good. We get to chant more. So I taught you body power, mind power, creative visualization. You see golden light. Where you put your mind is where the energy goes, and that's where the transformation occurs. Third power is sound power. What you chant is what you become. You want to transform your anger? Greatest love. You want to transform fight or flight? Greatest love. You replace one message, many messages, with only one word, one thought: love. Love, 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 love. And when you do that, you start to come into a state of oneness. All of these techniques, the body power, the mind power, the sound power, are helping to bring you into a state of oneness. When we are in a state of oneness, our body can heal. What we're trying to do is open the passages, open the pathways. The body can take over. We're not using medicine. We're not adding hormones. We're not adding insulin into the body. We are helping to clear blockages and changing the messages. We have sickness because we have negative messages. We have messages of sickness. And I don't have enough time to explain that, but all I want to do is give you enough of an understanding of these practices that you are able to do these so that you can experience transformation. I work with people that have some very serious conditions. There's a man in the hospital. He had open heart surgery. A few days after the surgery, massive heart attack. He's still alive. He's alive. He's in his 70s. He's not at a major trauma center, like Stanford University, University of California has phenomenal trauma centers. Why? Practices. His wife is practicing for him. 2 hours a day. The doctors don't know what to think of this. They have no explanation, right? Next power, fourth power. Fourth power is really the most important power. Fourth power is to say hello. When Master Sha talked about this, I was not really open to this. I had spent my entire life, 45, 46 years. And since I was little, I was at the doctor's because I had food allergies, but they didn't know this, right? So always I had something going on. Always I had some kind of prescription. So that was my picture in my mind was I just need to find the right doctor. If I find the right doctor, they can get me to the right medicine, the right program, I can heal. Because that's what had worked for me in the past. It wasn't working, yeah. So, I spent a year and a half on the couch. So Master Sha said, say hello. Dear the soul of my lungs, dear the soul of my large intestine, for you, dear the soul of my message center or my immune system, right? Dear the soul of my hands or my legs, dear the soul of my knees or my hips, dear the soul of my shoulder or my neck or my back, dear the soul, fight or flight definitely is the heart chakra, yeah? I love you. You repeat after me. Dear the soul of, I love you. I honor you. You have the power to heal yourself. Do a good job. I didn't think I had the power to do anything when I met Master Sha, because no one had ever said to me, you have the power to heal yourself. And when I heard him say, I have the power to heal myself, you have the power to heal yourself, and together we have the power to heal the world, I was just like, wow, he's such a nice man. Someone should tell him it doesn't work that way. But who changed who? Who changed? Not him, me. Because he was right. I very reluctantly and very stubbornly did the practices. And in 3 to 4 months, I healed. I couldn't believe I healed. Everybody else knew I could heal. I didn't have cancer. And the people with cancer were healing. So how was it that I could not heal, an ulcer? It was just my mind got in the way. Don't let your mind get in the way. Dear soul, mind, heart, and body of my shoulder, my neck, my hip, my knee, I love you. You have the power to heal yourself. Do a good job. I love my knee. I love my knee. I love my knee. Over time, you're going to love that knee, and that knee's going to feel your love. Yeah? You're going to love your lungs. We're going to connect with the calligraphy behind me because this is the latest teaching of Master Sha, and it's so powerful. I can wake up in pain, 20 minutes of tracing a calligraphy, sometimes I cannot even trace. 20 minutes, the pain comes down dramatically. The power in these calligraphies, you cannot describe. Oh, do I need to stop, Lydia? It's 6 o'clock. Sorry. No. Okay. You give me a 5-minute signal or a 2-minute signal, okay? Yeah. So dear, we connect now with the calligraphy. Why is the calligraphy powerful? Because he's a channel. When I met him, he was not a channel. He was a Western medical doctor. He was an incredible acupuncturist. His roster of clients, your jaw would drop, yeah? Country leaders, government officials, people who owned industries in countries. That's who his clients were. He was a Qigong master, and what he was practicing in the States was Qigong. So I was not, you can tell I'm quite a skeptic. I was not a believer, and I wasn't there when Master Sham became a divine channel. But people told me, this is what happened. I was just like, but how does that happen? I needed someone to explain this to me. But when I felt the power of what he could do, I didn't need anybody to explain it to me anymore. That was in 2003. That was 17 years ago. Since then, the power that he has received is extraordinary. He transmits that power into the calligraphies. The calligraphies are healers. Why is this significant? Because the calligraphy doesn't have any blockages. You and I have blockages. The calligraphy can give you pure love, pure energy. So we connect with the calligraphy. Dear soul, mind, body of this calligraphy, the message of this calligraphy is greatest love. You are going to connect with this calligraphy. You just put your hand out and connect to the calligraphy. One hand over your shoulder, your neck, your knee. Other hand faces the calligraphy. Dear soul, mind, body of this Da-I calligraphy, greatest love. Please give me a blessing. I want you to see the calligraphy. You don't need to see me. Please give me a blessing, a healing for my, name that one part of the body. Transform my anger to love. Heal and rejuvenate my knee. Heal and rejuvenate my hip. Heal my immune system. Heal and transform candida. Heal my skin. Close your eyes. Receive the frequency, the love from this calligraphy. I chant and trace for you. Die, 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 die. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies your heart and soul. Die, 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 die. Die is greatest love in Chinese. Die, 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 die. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies your heart and soul. Die, 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 die. Great Unconditional love melts all blockages, purifies my heart and soul. Die, 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 die. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies your heart and soul. Die, 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 die. Close your eyes. Feel. What do you feel inside of you? Do you feel a little bit of buzzing? Do you feel heat? Is your mind quieter? Are you more centered, more grounded? What is happening for you? So I lead practice groups for people who have chronic conditions. And in general, when you have a chronic condition, and some of you have chronic conditions, yeah, you need to practice for about an hour at a time. And in general, for me, I need to practice 3 hours a day. So I'm very lucky because I get to lead 2 practice sessions a day. And so I get 2 hours of practice, and then I have to do 1 hour separately. It's a separate practice time a separate practice that I do. Why do we need to do this? Because the body has become, what's it called? It gets, the longer we have the conditions, yeah, the more dense the energy is in the body. The more challenges we have, right? Suddenly now you have this other issue, and then there's this other issue, and then there's this other issue. Why? Because there's more and more blockages in the body. The guiding principle in Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, is energy flows, body fluids follow. If energy stagnates, body fluids stagnate. And you can really see this with people who have diabetes. I was in Hawaii for 16 months on an assignment. And I was like, I asked somebody, I said, why do so many people here have, like, their feet, they're purple and they're so swollen? And they said, that's diabetes. I was like, wow, what happens? You know, I had no idea. And their circulation slows down. So the blood stagnates. This is why people then they lose, you know, their toes. So what we're doing is we need to raise the frequency of our body. First, we need to open the pathways. We have to boost the power in our foundation, and we need to circulate the energy. When you do this, then you slowly begin to transform the body. I used to go to a retreat and I'd be flying high. I'd come home, crash, no foundation. And then I'd have to try and find my way back up and find my equilibrium again. I was constantly doing this. 19 years I've been studying with Master Sha. Finally, I got it this year. We just finished the highest retreat that he has done. The frequency was off the charts. I'm fine. This morning I slept in. By accident, I slept in. I didn't plan to sleep in. That's it. That's it. That was it. That was the extent of the up and down. You know? And in the past, I've crashed for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now, but I overslept by 2 hours, 3 hours. Okay. So my body is finally at a point where I'm able to hold, I can hold on to the energy in my foundation, and it's supporting my healing and it's supporting my spiritual development. So you need to do practices for a sustained period of time to open the pathways, boost the foundation, promote the flow of energy over a sustained period of time. Because it's going to take time. Clear, you have to clear and keep clearing, clear and keep clearing, clear and keep clearing. It's a little bit like it snowed today. You have to shovel the snow, snows again, 3 hours later, shovel the snow. That's it. Except we're changing, we're clearing energy, we're clearing old messages until you can keep it clear. This is why you need a group. You're so lucky you have this group. But you have to commit to doing practices at least 1 to 2 hours a day. How do you do this? Every moment, how do you sit? How do you stand? Where is your mind? Golden light in my first soul house. Chant, silently chant all the time. You're thinking something, it probably won't help you to be thinking something. Most of the time we just are what's it called? You're repeating the same thoughts. Instead, chant greatest love. Greatest love, greatest love, greatest love, greatest love, greatest love. Try it. You don't have to take my word for it. You try it. You prove it to yourself like I proved it to myself. Take the 21-day challenge. You prove it to yourself. See what happens. And when you're ready, yeah, go ahead.
I found a Master Shop video. It's like 9 minutes. So I listened to it in the car.
Yeah.
And I do the prayer over and over, and I've been giving it to patients and saying the prayer over patients before I treat them.
Beautiful.
If they agree to it,
Yeah, if they agree to it. But you can say, Helen, you can say, you have a client, let's use Lydia. So Lydia, you're the client, dear soul, mind, body of Lydia's lymphatic system. I don't know. I don't think you have a lymphatic system issue, but let's just use that. Love you, honor you, and appreciate you. You have the power to heal yourself. Give love to that part of the body that needs love. As a practitioner, that's huge. You will see phenomenal transformation. Connecting with that part of the body, empowering and changing the message. What is empowerment? Empowerment is that you change the message. You change the message of disease to a message of love. So Sandra and a few other people I know have received, Gloria and Lydia, you've received what are called golden light balls. A golden light ball is transmitted from a calligraphy. It's a permanent treasure inside of you that is, you turn it on and it is constantly sending you a message of love and constantly circulating high frequency and vibration. You can chant with that golden light ball. So for Sandra, you can be chanting golden light ball, Tao golden light ball, Tao golden liquid spring, or just, I cannot remember. Do you remember whatever she received it for? Just put Tao in front of it and just make it very simple. Very simple practice for her, yeah? So that you are constantly, you're changing the message of sickness to a message of wellness. Have I convinced you all to practice?
Yeah.
Have I convinced you of the benefits of practice?
Master Ximena, can you share with them the golden light ball for Believe You Can Heal?
Oh, believe it. Yeah, I can. So this month, we actually have a very special golden light ball that I couldn't believe it was approved. So many of us, myself included, I just did not believe I could heal. There was, it just didn't seem possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, even when when I had the spine, I was really, it took a lot of effort. I have to say, it took a lot of effort. And there was some days that were really, really dark. And I realized a lot of people have the same issue. When you have a condition long enough and your life gets smaller and smaller, you stop believing that anything will ever change. So we were able to do this. I'm able to transmit a golden light ball, golden liquid spring, a Tao golden light ball, golden liquid spring. Tao is the source for believe it. It's just Tao golden light ball, golden liquid spring, believe it. And then for one request. And the request I recommend for people who have chronic conditions, believe it, I can heal. Believe it, I will heal. Believe it, I am healing. Whatever it is, you just need to chant Tao golden light ball, golden liquid spring, believe it, because that treasure is activating the name is activating the treasure, which is think about it as having a calligraphy inside of you. It's releasing golden light and golden liquid spring at the source level to transform your messages. Most of us block ourselves because our minds do not believe that we can heal. Nothing has helped. You've tried all kinds of things. You've tried this, don't see too much change. But it's all a question of how you practice. You need to come together. You need to come together as a group to practice together. And you need to be doing practice. Learn to do practice all the time. I was astonished when I started adding up the 5 minutes I was waiting here, my 10-minute walk to the post office, the 5 minutes that it took to go down to the laundry, right? To change take the stuff out of the washer, put it into the dryer. I started chanting and it added up really fast. And I became a lot calmer. The stress came down very quickly because I wasn't stuck in my thoughts. Instead, I was visualizing golden light and I was chanting. It doesn't matter where I go. I start chanting at the supermarket. I start chanting. I'm not chanting out loud because I don't want them to ask me to leave, but I'm silently, I'm standing, I'm chanting. I'm using that time for my healing. It doesn't matter. There's all kinds of things that are available at the checkout. I don't have to see any of it. I don't need any of it, but I need to heal. And I discovered that there's so much time in our days that we throw away because we think it's not enough time for anything. It's enough time for you to chant for 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and it adds up. So I would suggest the Believe It treasure, you get it for yourself. Tao, golden light ball, golden liquid spring, believe it, and then whatever it is that you want to believe. I am healing, I am healed, I will heal, I can heal. The honor fee is $100 Canadian because I'm at the center in Canada, and it's $70 or $73 US when they convert it from Canadian to the US dollar. So it's very reasonable, yeah. And I believe that the link that's posted there, if your credit card charges you a fee for currency exchange, then just use PayPal. Use PayPal. Link your PayPal to your checking account, and then you'll be able to do that, and then there's no fee. So that's what I do, right? Because I have a US checking account. I'm living here, but I have a US checking account. Now I have a Canadian checking account, but no credit card. It's just, I'm just like, so I have to find ways to do all this. So that's what I do. I use PayPal, yeah.
And there's a PayPal option on checkout.
Say that again?
Yeah, there's a PayPal option when you check out.
Yeah, when you check out, there should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Master Ximena, can you also invite them to the daily practice? Some of them might be able to join the daily practice that we offer through the center.
Yeah, you know what? I'm very happy to do that. I offer a daily practice 2 times a day, 9 a.m. West Coast time, Pacific time, and 8 p.m. Pacific time. And there's a small fee. We meet 5 times a week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for 1 hour. 9 a.m. I lead. I personally lead the 9 o'clock in the morning, because I want those of you that have challenging conditions to have consistency with me. That may not be the right link, Lydia, because that may be for October. There's a different link.
Oh,
for
you're
November.
right. I don't have the November one. I got it off of the website.
For November, it should be the
No,
November.
for
should be-
October. Yeah, I didn't see the no.
go to the calendar for November.
Okay.
It's posted. It was posted last week, but they had to change it because otherwise we couldn't register people after the 15th of the month. So they had to create 2 separate links. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Gail's in that program. Maybe Gail could share a little bit about.
Yeah. Let me just finish. So
Oh, sure.
I make sure. Are you still there? Yeah. So I make sure that there is a what do you call? There is a sequence of practices that we do to open the body, boost your foundation, circulate the energy, and then focus on that part of the body that needs transformation. When you do this, transformation occurs. If you just chant for my heart, just chant my heart, chant for, some people have breast cancer. You won't have the same results. I've done this now for several years, and this year I finally was able to get it very clear from heaven what it was that people need. So Gail, yeah, maybe you could share.
Yes. Well, it's nice to be with a group of people, like when you're practicing, because, then you have the discipline of, okay, this is what I'm going to do, at 12 o'clock every day. And I do the replays now on the days that we don't meet. So, because you get those links.
Yeah.
So it's really nice, and it's different every day, because Master Ximena is following, I guess, your guidance, right? to as to what is the need. So it's, and what I found personally so far is it's helping me. I'm feeling I'm able to, what's the word? More stamina. I feel more stamina as I've been practicing, I think about 10 days with you.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm noticing. And then I'm noticing a lot of things, but also I do notice, like, when the other blockages are in my body, like I'll feel them occasionally if I'm slack off a little bit. So that's interesting. But now, I just go and do a replay, or I start, chanting, or, I do a practice. So I like it as part of my day. I'm starting to enjoy it instead of feeling like, oh, I have to do this, because I'm noticing the benefits.
Mhm.
And then I've added in, like, the 5 elements practice, the individual ones that I feel like I need. And I go on YouTube with Dr. Shah just to do those. Like today, I did that earlier today. Because the metal element is the one that I need. And then the water, for the, so I'm learning that too. So yeah, I like it. It's worth it. Well worth the $75.
Yeah. So thank you. I'm so happy for you.
And do they meet every day, or how does it work?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9 a.m. Or 8 p.m. But 8 p.m. would be 11 o'clock your time. And that's a little bit late to practice.
How long
It's,
does it go?
1 hour. It's 1 hour.
Yeah, I do it Michigan noontime, but it's 9 a.m.
Yeah. 9 a.m. West Coast is noon in Michigan. Yeah.
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 So you have a morning and an evening?
Yeah. We have an evening practice at, it's 11 o'clock your time though. That might be a little bit too late because some people, they find that it energizes them and then they can't get to sleep. Until they can get enough sleep, and then the body.
I can always sleep. I can sleep right now. I could lay on the floor and go to sleep. Sorry, I so rarely have insomnia. It's very hard for me to have empathy. I understand. I mean, I have compassion, but I don't really know what it's like.
I had a question about practicing for someone else. You said that woman was doing it for her husband. So do you just do that in the prayer? Like you set that intention to, so like if my sister wanted to do it for her dog, could she do that?
Yes. Yes. So you can get the books. I'm sorry. I cleared my table today because I was attending a training and I needed the space. So, I don't have the books, but if you have the little book, if you have the little Greatest Love book, Lydia, the Greatest Love book. The Greatest Love book has the invocation for healing any condition. And you just put in place, who and what the condition is. And then you just chant and trace for them. So this woman that I'm talking about, she is 2 hours every night, every night, 2 hours, I think from 8 to 10 o'clock, every night, 2 hours for her husband. It's amazing. And what's happening is she's going through this. She herself is experiencing huge transformation. Her spiritual channels are opening like crazy now because she's boosted her energy and vibration. So when you serve others, what happens is they give you love. At the soul level, they're grateful. They send you love. That love is coming in, nourishing you, transforming you. But also heaven is grateful. You're transforming, you're helping to serve someone else. The transformation for you, because this is service. Master Sha always teaches, if you serve others, the benefits to you are exponential. And that's what we did 19 years ago, is we did not serve ourselves. We served everybody that was in the group. We would chant for the people in the group, or we would chant for, our loved ones. Yeah. So I would be more than happy to have all of you join. Any one of you can join. We're now taking registrations for November, because the end of October. And I invite you to join us.
Master Ximena, the link is not working. The one for November, it still only gives October options. So I'll get the right link and I'll email it to everyone.
No, I checked them. I will get those for you because I checked
awesome.
them last week.
Okay.
And
because we just used the one. Yeah, we just put the one for November. It says November on drshaw/BC, but it only gives you October as a choice when you go to register. So I don't know. But we'll get the right one out to everyone.
Okay, so I know what they did. Thank you for letting me know that. So yeah.
Maybe
so
it doesn't work till November?
They didn't change it on the calendar. They didn't change it in the calendar. So they sent me the links and then I used the links.
Ladies, I have to go. Thank you, Ximena. I apologize. I wish you a beautiful evening and lots of love to everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Helen.
Lydia.
Talk to you soon. Love you.
Okay. Love you
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I see it says October when I pulled it up.
No, I will send, I'll send it to Lydia because it's, and then thank you for letting me know. I will have it changed.
I was looking for it. So
thank you. I will send it to you. Okay, Lydia, thank you so much. We've gone over half an hour. I apologize.
No, it's awesome. Thank you for your time. And I know Gloria had a couple of comments in there too, that she was healing anger and was having some pain. So she had a question for you.
What is the question, Gloria?
Actually, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It resolved.
Oh.
So I was feeling pain in my upper back on the left side, between the spinal column and the scapula. And then as we did the practice, it went higher up. And I was asking if that was because it was, energy leaving through the exit point. And then now it's gone.
Oh, beautiful. Awesome.
Possible,
All right.
possible. Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for staying with us. Love you all.
Thank
Love
you, thank you,
you.
thank
Thank
you. Love
you.
you all, and
Thank
Uma
you.
please
loves you.
feel free
you.
to ask any questions
Thank
through Lydia.
you.
All right,
Okay,
bye-bye.
great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Master Ximena. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
See you
See you
next
later.
week.
Bye.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.